Are you tired of studying boring subjects like math, literature, and classical Freudian psychoanalysis? Then why not study colloids today? They're exciting, fun, and delicious. Study colloids at a college or university near you. Void or prohibited. You see me when you can't see. You put me where you want nothing. I sour if you leave me out, but I stay fresh for years. That's right, I'll never make it in Iowa State. I'm gonna have to go to the University of Iowa.
What are you doing?
Trying to solve this riddle. It is impossible. There is nothing on this planet that works for the solution.
Well, what's the riddle?
All right. You see me when you can't see.
I haven't the foggiest idea. Oh, what about fog?
You put me where you want nothing.
Well, if you didn't want your beard, you would use shaving cream.
I sour if you leave me out,
Well, that's easy. That's milk.
but I stay fresh for years.
That's jam. So, fog, shaving cream, milk, and jam. Oh, of course, they're all colloids.
What in the world is a colloid?
A colloid is a suspension of materials less than 1 micron. You know what? It might be easier if I just showed you. Come on, we're going to the kitchen.
Let us begin with assembling our ingredients and materials. Over here, we have a bowl of fresh blueberries, sugar, lemon juice, pectin, a bowl, a cooking pot, a spoon, a set of measuring cups, and a turkey baster. Before we get to any serious cooking, put a generous amount of ice cubes in the bowl and fill it halfway up with ice cold water. We need the water to be as cold as possible. We are going to use this water to test our jam. So, to ensure that the water is cold enough, we'll place this in the freezer for the time being. Check on the water periodically. We do not want it to freeze. Now we'll begin our cooking process. Since we do not have any gloves and we are handling food items, it is best for us to thoroughly wash our hands with soap. Once done, we need to wash our blueberries. Over here, we have about 2.5 cups of fresh blueberries. Next, we need to crush the blueberries. We could probably use a food processor for this part, but seriously, it's so much fun to do it by hand. At the end of this step, our hands are guaranteed to be nice and slimy, so remember to rinse them after. Now that our berries are nicely mashed up, we need to add half a cup of sugar to the bowl and some pectin. In case you are not sure on the amount of pectin needed, check the instructions on the box. We only used 1 teaspoon of pectin. So now we need to mix them all together before pouring the mixture into the cooking pot. I'm sure you're wondering why we are adding pectin. Pectin is a polysaccharide found in fruits. Heating pectin and sugar together causes the mixture to thicken, which creates jam. Since blueberries are low in pectin, we need to add our own. Let's get back to our jam. Here, we need to add 4 teaspoons of water followed by 2 teaspoons of lemon juice. We need to place the pot on the stove and leave it to boil. Be cautious. We always need to keep a close eye on the stove. Do not leave the stove unattended, no matter how tempting it is. The mixture does not take long to boil. Once it starts boiling, be cautious again, as the mixture would probably splatter. If this happens, reduce the heat. Let us take a breather and look at the science behind these simple steps. Jam is a type of hydrocolloid. A hydrocolloid is a type of colloid particle where the hydrophilic polymers disperse in water. As we only use a little bit of water, the hydrocolloid will remain in salt state, where the jam is still in liquid form. As the jam can either be in sol or gel states, the hydrocolloid is reversible. Adding or eliminating the heat will change the state of the hydrocolloid. When the jam starts boiling, add another half cup of sugar and stir well. Once the sugar dissolves completely, switch off the stove and let the jam cool. We can also place the pot on a cooler surface at this point. Once our jam is slightly cooled, we get to the fun part. Remember the cold water we had in the beginning? We will now use the water to test our jam texture. We use a turkey baster to drop tiny droplets of jam solution into freezing water. This creates bead-like structures. This is a good example of hydrocolloid, where the salt changes into a gel state at the change of temperature. Oh, look at those! As you can see, the jam is cooling and the texture has now changed into a more gel-like texture. As it continues to cool, we have a perfect pot of jam. Now, all we have to do is to store it in an airtight container. So, there you have it.